Today I am on Metropolitan Avenue in the Ridgewood section of Queens. Specifically, I'm in an area known as Bohack Square, and I'm here to try and locate an old railway station that used to exist in the area. Now, Bohack Square was the complex for the Bohack supermarket chain. They were based right here in Ridgewood, and that's their main warehouse, but also they own these buildings right here. In fact, the new complex you see right there, that's actually called Bohack Square. What I'd heard, or what I'd read, was that the train line ran directly through the property of Bohack. So for a good 2 years I've searched this entire area. Unfortunately the truck's right there right now, so I wanted to show you. But I've been down that road there, as well as the road on the other side, and I've searched the ground bit by bit, trying to find Bohack, the train line that used to run through Bohack. Now there is a train line much further down there, but this specifically said it ran through Bohack's terminal. So I kind of discounted the one down there, plus the train line was in Ridgewood, and that really is pushing the boundary of Ridgewood right down there. So I searched all of this area, couldn't find anything that resembled an old train line. And then I found this brown building right here. That used to be the main offices of Bohack. It was a different building back then. So I'm like, okay, that's getting closer to the train line that's down this way. And then I found this image that shows a tram travelling down Metropolitan Avenue back in the 1940s. Now the tram I'm not interested in. What interests me is the building that you see on the left hand side. And if you look very closely, you'll see HC Bohack. And what else you see is the train line runs directly through the Bohack terminal. So I was way off. It took me a good 2 years to try and find this, and I was a few hundred yards away from where I needed to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing a story on Bohack separately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down to this train line down here, and on the way I'll stop and take an image of the old Bohack corporate offices. But the next you'll see of me is when we're down at the train line on Metropolitan Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens. So after all of that searching, which probably entailed about 2 years on my behalf, that image that I found of the tram coming down Metropolitan here, and hopefully I'm stood in roughly the same area so that we can get a good side-by-side of it. On that building right there, you see the HC Bohack. And then of course the train line that runs directly through it. Now this train line ceased to operate for passenger service back in 1924. It's been 99 years since this railway, or this rail track, has seen passenger service. Let me get out of the light a little bit. However, it is still used as a freight line. You can see some of the freight cars just down there in the distance. Now, how do I know it's still used? Well, I live about a mile down this way, and every night about 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, you hear the horns of the train blasting by here. And it goes on for about 5 minutes. Now, this train line used to be the Bushwick Branch of the Long Island Railroad. It ran from Montrose Avenue in Bushwick. And here's an image of the terminal on Montrose Avenue in Bushwick. And it used to ferry Bohack employees, many of which came from Manhattan. They'd take the ferry over to, I think it was 8th Street in Brooklyn. Then they'd get a train down to the Bushwick terminal, and then they'd get the Bushwick branch of the Long Island Railway down to this area where the Bohack terminal was. Now, that may seem like quite a convoluted way of getting to Queens, but remember, this is like the 1920s, and to be honest with you, it's no different than what we do to this day. In order for me to get into Manhattan, I have to take a bus and 2 subways, and it takes about an hour, probably about the same time as it took back then. Now, the Bushwick line, the Bushwick branch of the Long Island Railway, would run down here, go through the Maspeth terminal, and then end up at Fresh Pond Road. Now, the station in Fresh Pond actually lasted much longer than the ones on the Bushwick line, and I'd love to go down there one day, but it's kind of blocked off. But I believe the station is still there. But even though they haven't taken passengers for 99 years, it does still run. Now, I was very fortunate in my search. Part of the problem, you see, was that the train station was in Ridgewood. And at the end of this building, that's East Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This right here is Maspeth in Queens. And Ridgewood literally is, you've got this street right here and one more street, and that's it for Ridgewood, which kind of put me off on trying to locate a train station in Ridgewood, because you've only got 2 blocks right here. But I was able to find this image, and I was told that the Western Beef, that used to be part of the Bohack terminal as well. Now, I haven't been able to find any documentation online, but locals assure me that this used to be part of the Bohack terminal. What is interesting though, when I found this little map trying to locate where the train station was, I noticed on the map that this building here was listed for Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. There used to be a Wrigley's factory right here where the Western Beef now is. Now, the person who owned Wrigley's, the image is from like about 1919, I think it is. And the owner died like, you know, around about that time, a couple of years later, I think. So I don't know if the Wrigley's Spearmint Gum Factory ever came to full fruition. But on the map, I was looking for the actual train station that serviced this area. And thanks to that map, I found it. Right here. This used to be the train station for the Metropolitan Avenue station on the Bushwick line, Bushwick branch of the Long Island Railroad. Now the station itself was located where these shutters are right here. Let me walk over there, in fact. The actual station was located right here, in this area here. And I've come on the wrong side of the sun. I didn't want to do that. So pardon me for walking back and forth. But the actual station operated on a single side. So the actual platform was right where these yellow bollards are. That used to be the length of the platform of the Metropolitan Avenue station. And it was an old wooden structure. People coming from Manhattan in this direction, or from Bushwick anyway, they would get off on that side of the street. And then when the train was making its return journey, so I'm guessing only one train ran per journey, I guess. When they'd come down this way, they'd also get off on this side. Now, I don't know if there's any remnants left of the track. In fact, I just trod on something. I'm getting jumbled on my words again. Of course there's remnants of the track, it's still here. But I don't know if there's any remnants of the old platform. Now everything was torn down 99 years ago. The year that it stopped service, they tore the thing down that same year. It doesn't look like it's had much use in recent years anyway. But it doesn't look like there's much left of the old railway station. So the platform would have come down to like here. Again, let me turn around so that the sun's facing the other way. Now I'm going to guess this structure here has always been there. Certainly in the images I've seen from the time, it was an operating business. So really pushing the limits of believability here. This portion right here where I'm standing, that was probably part of the platform, like the end part of it. It's some better days, hasn't it? But anyway, that's my story for today. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, actually. I've been looking for that railway station for so long. But this used to be the platform of the Metropolitan Avenue railway station of the Bushwick branch of the Long Island Railway in Ridgewood, Queens.